Well, hi, everyone. Bob Allen here. We have been broadcasting the Conejo Oaks baseball games since 2010. It is with great pleasure that I want to introduce the two play-by-play and color commentator announcers that we have right now. That's Sammy and Jude, and they're going to take us for the first Sports Center for both the North and South Collegiate Development League. Guys, it's up to you.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in to KSPN TV Sports Center. My name is Sammy Fawn, and we have come across two great weeks of Conejo Oaks baseball. Just yesterday, the Oaks topped the Saints in an 11-2 rout. That's right, 11-2. We saw the Oaks score 11 runs within the span of 4 innings, and it was quite a game. And my broadcast partner, Jude Ocañas, was there with me. Jude, what did you see from them?
Um, but no, I think we saw a dominant performance from the Conejo Oaks. Like you mentioned, Sammy, we saw 4 innings where they put together just, master classes at the plate. And, I think it was a good kind of end of the week that we saw. We saw them struggle on Friday where they only scored 2 runs. It was the lowest total of the season. And then bounce back and show against a strong team in the Saints, who, were one of the top teams in the South Division. It was certainly a big win to end the week.
Yes, that's right. Now, if we take a look at the most recent games and up and coming games for the Conejo Oaks are now 6-2 in the California Collegiate League and 7-2 overall. Their first game was a non-league game against the Coastal Dodgers. You see, they crushed the Dodgers 13-0 in that game, and then it's been CCL baseball from there. Just 2 losses on the season. There was 14-5 loss to the Santa Barbara Foresters 2 Saturdays ago. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, the lowest total runs that they had scored against the MLB Academy Barons back on Friday, June 13th. And that was at MLB Youth Academy in Compton. That was their first road game of the season. We look forward to tomorrow. The Conejo Oaks will host the Arroyo Seco Saints once again tomorrow for a 4:30 game. The next day, it'll be the same place, George Sparky Anderson Field, at the same time against the MLB Academy Barons. That'll be on June 18th. Then, of course, the Oaks are off on Thursday. And then last few games of the week, the Oaks will have their second road game of the season on June 20th. They will be hosted by the Orange County Riptide at Great Park in Irvine, California. It'll be a Friday night game under the lights. A lot to look forward to there. And then we look forward to that weekend, June 21st and June 22nd. Both the Conejo Oaks will be hosting the MLB Academy Barons on June 21st, and then they will be on the road at MLB Youth Academy again on June 22nd. The game on June 21st will be 4 p.m. start, and June 22nd, 1 p.m. start. And certainly got a lot to look forward to there. And take a look at the standings. Jude, take it away.
Yeah, let's look at the standings. We'll start in the South Division as the Santa Barbara Foresters are ahead right now at 6-1, top of that division, as the Conejo Oaks slot in at number 2, sitting at 5-2 in what is according to the California Collegiate League website. Moving at the third spot, the Arroyo Seco Saints sitting at 4-3. We just talked about them. The Conejo Oaks took them down in an 11-2 victory on Sunday. And then the Orange County Riptide sitting at 5-4. And this was a team, if you look at the beginning of the season, the Orange County Riptide actually started the season 0-3. So they've really rebounded now, sitting at 5-4. And it's like Sammy mentioned with the schedule, we'll see them for the first time on Friday under the lights at 7 p.m. At the number 5 spot, the San Diego Waves sitting at just 1-1. The Academy Barons, who the Conejo Oaks saw 3 times this past week, they are 2-5. The Conejo Oaks were able to take 2 out of those 3 games in which they saw them. The San Diego Bombers at 1-4, and then the Philippines Baseball Group at 1-5. So the Oaks have right now started off hot, and they hope to stay hot in week 3 of action. But as we move now, we'll head and look at the North Division, And it's the Walnut Creek Crawdads sitting at 6-1. They were the team that lost the Oaks in the CCL championship in 2024. They're looking to rebound and hopefully get the title this year. Sitting at the number 3 spot is the Alameda Merchants. They're sitting at 8-3, currently on a 3-game win streak. The Sonoma Stompers come in at the 3rd place at 7-5. They're on a 2-game win streak. And the San Luis Obispo Blues are now 4-4. They're on a 2-game losing streak. And then to finish us off, the Menlo Park Legends are 2-6, and the San Francisco Seagulls are 1-9 and have lost their last 8. As we head into this week, Sammy, we've seen a lot of great things, and I do want to point to some of the guys that have really stepped up. What have you just seen from a guy like Tyler Hawley, who had a stronger week this week?
Yeah, Tyler Hawley, went the first week hitless. What was he? 0 for 11, 0 for 11 to start it off. Then you saw him hit that bases clearing double in that game against the Santa Barbara Foresters. That was a 9-5 win against the Foresters. And then you saw him break out or continue to break out on the road against the MLB Academy Barons. That was, and also, both at home and on the road. You saw him in that road game, Tyler Hawley. You saw him hit that double, and also then again, the next day against the Barons, continued to battle. Hawley had 3 RBIs the next day, a couple of singles, and then yet again against the Arroyo Seco Saints, Hawley. You saw him break out. He hit 3 singles and 1 RBI. So, I think a guy like Tyler Hawley, you can look at the stats and say it was a slow start for him. But when you look at this week as a whole, you can see him climbing up the ladder. And we nominated him to be CCL Player of the Week, for the California Collegiate League. So I think he has probably had the most growth when it comes to from where he started to where he is now. And, you also see a guy like Brady Hewitt hit that bases clearing triple in that game yesterday against the Arroyo Seco Saints, earning him player of the game, but certainly seen a lot of growth from the Oaks so far. And I'm excited for what they continue to bring out in the team in this weekend throughout the rest of the season. It's going to be exciting.
No, certainly. And I think a guy like, Hawley, you talk about just keeping your confidence. He was even a regular starter, even when he was in that slump, even in week 1, when he was struggling to get his rhythm at the plate. And, I think like you mentioned, Sammy, this week he's come alive, and it's a bat that the Oaks are going to need, because they're right now dealing with kind of 2 major injuries, as their first baseman, or kind of first baseman, third baseman, Nate Johnson, is right now out with a left shoulder injury. Talked to him this week, said he's kind of figuring things out. He's probably going to get a checkup on that left shoulder, but he's probably going to miss a little bit of time. And then the big loss for the Oaks was Jonathan Smith, the rising graduate at San Diego State University. We saw him take a ball in batting practice, a line drive to his jaw. He exited. That was back on Wednesday versus Santa Barbara Foresters. He was actually in the lineup. He was fitted at the 2-hole for the Oaks that day, but he was unable to go. And I talked to him just on Sunday, and it was even a struggle for him to really talk. He right now has a fractured jaw, and he's really having struggle to even walk, run, and obviously eat, as with a fractured jaw. So the best we wish is that they have a speedy recovery, but it's obviously a thing that the Oaks are going to have to move past with these injuries.
Yeah, certainly, injuries, seeing them early on, and especially when it happens to guys like Johnson and Smith, and boy, just the fractured jaw. I feel like I can feel that just by hearing you describe it. And yeah, just think about, you might just think, oh, just comes from the mouth, but like you said, trouble walking and running. But yeah, it might be a long shot for him to come back, but the Oaks, they've been bouncing back strong, and we are excited to see what comes from the Oaks tomorrow. They will host the Arroyo Seco Saints again at 4:30 p.m. at George Sparky Anderson Field, and we're excited for game action.
Okay, what a great start to the Sports Center. I hope the two of you, continue to look out how we can improve it for next week, and hopefully get more viewers, and maybe even start some social media, with Facebook and stuff like that, so we can increase the viewership for what we're trying to do. And you guys have done just a great job. Please continue doing what it is. All this technology problems that we've had, they will be resolved. Okay? So, good first show.